Okay. So just zoom it and then, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Mataji. We are good. We'll manage. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Okay. As an illustration, let us consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. While he was preaching, he went to Banaras, the seat of Mayavadi sannyasis. The followers of Sankaracharya are mostly seen in Banaras. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, he was chanting and dancing. Some of the people very much appreciated this, and so he quickly became famous. One prominent sannyasi, Prakasananda Saraswati, leader of many thousands of Mayavadi sannyasis, was informed. Oh, from Bengal, one young sannyasi has come. He is so nicely chanting and dancing. Prakasananda Saraswati was a great Vedantist and he did not like the idea. He said, "Oh, he is the pseudo sannyasi. He is chanting and dancing, and this is not the business of a sannyasi. A sannyasi should always engage himself in the study of philosophy and Vedanta." Then one of the devotees who did not like the remarks of Prakasnanda Saraswati came back and informed Lord Chaitanya that he was being criticized. So the devotee arranged a meeting of all the sannyasis and there was a philosophical discussion on the Vedanta between Prakasananda Saraswati and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These accounts and philosophical discussions are given in our teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It is remarkable that Prakasananda himself, with all his disciples, became Vaishnavas. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a great discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the greatest logician of that time, who was also Mayavadi impersonalist, and he was also converted. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is not mere sentimentalism. There is a very rich background if one wants to understand this Sankirtana movement through philosophy and logic. There is ample opportunity for this movement is based on science and on the authority of Vedas, but it is all simplified. This is the beauty of this movement. Whether one is great scholar or philosopher or a child, he can take part without any difficulty. Other systems of self-realization, the Gnana process or Yoga process, are also recognized, but it is not possible to practice them in this age. That is the verdict of the Vedas. Kriteya dhyayato Vishnu त्रेतयां यजतो मखे द्वापरे परिचर्ययं कलौ तद्धरि कीर्तनात्. In the Satya Yuga, the golden age, it was possible to execute the meditation process. For instance, Valmiki Muni meditated for 60,000 years to get perfection. But where is our old age? Besides that, for the meditation process, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, one has to select a secluded place. He has to execute it alone. He has to sit down in a rigid posture. He has to lead a life of complete celibacy, and so on. There are many rules and regulations. Thus, Astanga Yoga meditation is not possible. If one is satisfied by imitating, that is a different thing. But if one wants perfection, then he has to execute all the 8 stages of Astanga Yoga. If this is not possible, then it is a waste of time. What is the ultimate goal of the yoga process or meditation? Contact with Supreme, the Super Soul, the Supreme Lord is the aim and object of all yoga processes. Similarly, philosophical research, the Gnana process also aims at understanding the Supreme Brahman. These are recognized processes, undoubtedly, but according to authoritative description, they are not practical in this iron age of Kali. Therefore, one has to take to this process of Hari Kirtana. Anyone can practice without pre-qualification. One does not have to study philosophy or Vedanta. This was the purport of Lord Chaitanya's meeting with Prakasananda Saraswati.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for reading out.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Shall we go with the questions, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
I'm
If
not.
if you wanted to summarize also, it is fine. If not, you can directly go with the questions.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'll go directly with the questions, Prabhuji.
Okay.
But someone has to help me with putting up the questions.
Okay. Bandita Mataji, can you share the questions also?
So sorry, because I am
Okay. Gordhan Prabhu can do that if you are not.
on tab actually, so I'm not able to do it.
No issues. Gordhan Prabhu, you wanted to share the questions? You can read it out also.
Need, yes, bro. I'll read it, bro.
I can read it if you want to, Gordon.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Seturam Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhu.
the first question is, what is the beauty of Sankirtana movement? What is the beauty of Sankirtana movement?
The Sankirtana movement, the beauty of Sankirtana movement is it does not require any qualification. So anybody can chant Sankirtana.
If anyone wants to add anything to this answer of Batu?
It is much easier than reciting slokas and all, and the wordings are very simple, so anyone can chant and they can get liberated.
Yes, Mataji, you are also very correct in telling that answer. Yes. Anyone else wants to add anything else?
So this Sankirtan movement, the beauty of it is that it is based on the authority of the Vedas. It is not just some mental speculation, or we are doing it with some sentimentalism. We are not doing it. People may misunderstand, as they misunderstood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was doing the Sankirtan. And there are some people who also, especially the Mayavadis, and especially the Prakashananda Saraswati and his disciples, say that the basic what is the purpose or a duty of a sannyasi is to do Veda Patan, not just dance and take the Hari's name. So that is what they thought. But actually, the beauty of this movement is that, as most of you have mentioned, anybody can join, and at the same time, it is based on the authority of the Vedas, and it is not sentimentalism, and it's a very blissful process. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your inputs, Prabhuji. And Bera Prabhu also put up in chat stating that there's no pre-qualification needed. Thank you, Bera Prabhu. We'll go to the second question now. If no one wants to add anything else. Is there anything else anyone wants to add to the first question? Okay, we'll go to the second question. Please mention different processes recommended in different yugas for self-realization with scriptural reference. What is the easiest way to perform? Why?
Take one part of the question first, and then
Yes.
ask.
Please mention the different processes recommended in different yugas for self-realization. Can we go with that question, Prabhuji and Mataji? Please mention different processes recommended in different yugas for self-realization.
Ashtanga yoga, Sankhya yoga, Gnana yoga, Bhakti yoga. And these are being mentioned in Gita for self-realization. But apart from all these, Bhakti yoga is a much more, easiest way to perform, because it is in this yoga, pure devotion and pure love towards Supreme Personality Godhead is involved. So we can we can just involve Supreme Personality in our day-to-daily activities, even if it whether it is prasadam or chanting or doing any work. Yeah, even if karma yoga, whatever we are doing, if we are just including him, that in your wish we are doing all these things. So by this way we can include Supreme Personality in our day-to-day life, and um, we will get closer to Krishna.
Thank you for your inputs, Mataji. But I don't know, but the question was about the processes recommended in different yugas for self-realization. So it was with regard to the yugas. Like we have this Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga, and now the Kali Yuga. So what are the different processes that are recommended for self-realization in these yugas? Am I right,
Yes,
Prabhuji?
yes, Prabhuji, that is correct. It is what is the question. Yes.
Bera
Yeah,
Prabhu, message in chat box, Prabhu.
in Satya Yoga, it is for meditation on Vishnu. In Treta Yoga, performing sacrifices, and Dwapar Yoga by serving Lord's lotus feet. But in Kali Yoga, just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can achieve.
Yes, you are absolutely right. You are
Well
absolutely
said, Mataji.
well said. Thank you very much.
Bera Prabhu also mentioned the same thing in chat box, Prabhu.
So I have
Vera
one
Prabhu,
question. Yeah.
Vera Prabhu mentioned in the chat box stating that Satya Yuga, it is meditation. In Treta Yuga, it is sacrifice. In Dwapara Yuga, it is deity worship. And in Kali Yuga, it is chanting of the holy.
Yes.
Thank you, Vera.
So here I have a question, Prabhuji, sir, Mataji. So the Ashtanga Yoga meditation is not possible. So what is this Ashtanga Yoga? Anybody knows? Because I'm asking it because I recently completed my master's degree in yoga therapy, and we have done a lot of Ashtanga Yoga. So though it is not practical, but we have just done the asana part of it. But Ashtanga Yoga, does anybody know what are the Ashta means 8? So anybody knows what are the things involved in Ashtanga Yoga? And here Srila Prabhupada also says that to execute all the 8 stages of Ashtanga Yoga, that is where you can get the perfection. But we cannot follow all the 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga. What are these steps of Ashtanga Yoga? We 8-limbed meditation. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Yashoda Mataji, go ahead.
8 Ashtanga Yoga, sir, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Prachara, Dharana, like that 8 processes are there. Yama, Niyama means do's and do's, and Asana means we have to sit on a particular asana and do the meditation. Like that, it is very difficult in this age. We cannot control the mind by that. The best to the main aim is meditation. This meditation is possible only by chanting and hearing. So this is recommended for this age.
Actually, as you mentioned, Mataji, Yama means restraints and some moral discipline we need to follow, and some things where don'ts is what it talks about. Yama, Niyama are what you need to do. So positive duties, that observations that you need to do. Asana is postures, that you have certain postures that you actually yoga here in the modern yoga, they are just doing asanas only. So they are not doing anything in the Ashtanga Yoga process. They are just doing the asanas, postures, so that your health can get benefited. And that is also good to some extent, because some internal organs of yours with certain yoga postures can be, it can improve its efficiency and it can perform better. And pranayama is the breathing technique that is also to some extent followed. So we can also follow these two, asanas and pranayama, but the rest of the things nobody is following. They are keeping this body fit because they can do more sense gratification. But when it says pratyahara is withdrawal from the senses, which they are not doing it. And dharana is focused concentration, that also they are not doing. Dhyana is meditative absorption. So where are they doing meditation? In nothing in the modern yoga. And samadhi is the bliss or enlightenment. So one of the things with this Ashtanga yoga is that they can go till Paramatma realization level only. Beyond that, it is very difficult also. And obviously, it is so difficult. And if you go also, the highest they can go into Paramatma realization. They cannot go what it is told. Yeah. Anybody has any questions in this regard? Okay. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Behra Prabhu also has put in chat the same answers about the 8 limbs of yoga. Thank you, Behra Prabhuji. The second part of the second question was that is the different processes recommended in the different yugas with scriptural reference. What is the scriptural reference that is given in the passage which we have read now with regard to the processes of self-realization in this?
Yeah, anybody can read it out. It's just the only sloka that is there. Mataji rightly read it out. Bandita Mataji. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.52. Anybody can read that once again?
Shall I
Yeah, go
read
ahead.
it out?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Krite yadhyayeto Vishnung tretayang yajato makhe dvapare paricharyayang kalau tadhari kirtanat.
Okay, thank you very much, Mata. The next part of the question was, what is the easiest way to perform self-realization and why?
Yeah, this is a very nice question.
What is the easiest way to perform self-realization and why?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I add?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. So the easiest way, as we have been discussed, because for all the following, like Kali is the, darkest of all the yugas. We are degraded to the level of what we can see in and around us. So this Kali Yuga, but the best thing is that, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, the most easiest way is to, chant the name of Lord, and that will give us the purification. So we all fallen souls in this Kali Yuga should try to chant Lord's name, and that will be giving us. That's what he says, that is going to give us the final, destination which we are looking for. That is the purpose of life. What we are, going ahead.
Thank you very much, Raghunath Puri Das Prabhuji. Is there anything else other Prabhujis or Matajis want to add?
I have a question on the why part, Prabhu. Basically, here in this module also it is mentioned the ultimate goal of yoga process or meditation process to some extent. So what is the ultimate goal of any of this yoga process? Whatever, whether it in Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta or Kali Yuga. So what is the ultimate goal? Why are we doing?
To connect with the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality.
Okay, to connect with the Supreme Lord. What what is the easiest way to connect to the Supreme Lord?
In this Kali Yuga, doing Kirtana is the easiest way to possible.
Okay.
Because as mentioned in Satya Yuga, meditation on Vishnu is recommended. But for meditation also, we have to select some secluded place, and there should be some peace. We have to sit in a proper posture and all. So which is not possible in this Kali Yuga. Then again in Treta Yuga, performing sacrifices. So for sacrifice also, we should be having pure, the ghee and all, everything is should be pure. But nowadays everything is adulterated. So that is also not pure. So that is also not possible. And in Dwapara Yuga, serving Lord's lotus feet. So we are dealing with so much of distraction nowadays. We cannot sit in a place without thinking anything. So something or the other will be in our mind. So that's why Kirtana is recommended in the Kali Yuga, and it is it is only the only way in this yuga to perform and connect with the Lord.
So fortunately or unfortunately, I tried this meditation process, which is based on the Vipassana technique of a Buddhist way of meditation. And so this Vipassana, I did 3 courses there. There are 10-day courses. And out of the first is 9 days noble silence. You will not speak to anybody, you will just do meditation. So like that, 10 days, out of which 9 days is noble silence. Like that, if you do 3 of that 10 days, then you will be qualified for 30 days, out of which 29 days are noble silence. So it is not easy in this Kali Yuga. And now why it go so far? Arjuna said, this is not practical. I can stop the wind from blowing, but this mind is so chanchal. It's so difficult to control this, and the environment is also not conjugal to do meditation, and you need to go to a secluded place, and a lot of things are there. Yeah, it's not practical. That's correct. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah,
Saturam Prabhu.
yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu, what you said, Prabhu, that question why. So yeah, the question why and is the, I mean, because the best thing is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he has said is that there is no qualification. Anyone from anyone who can chant the name of it, like the 3 syllables, Hare, Krishna and Rama. That's what makes the 16 words. And this is the easiest way anyone can chant. So there is no qualification. There is nothing as, degree or something required. Anyone on the road, anywhere. I mean, he has not even given any proper place also. He said anywhere you can chant. You just have to ensure the chanting goes on. That's what. So that is why, Prabhu, your question of why was very important. Why it is very easy way of doing that.
One of the follow-up question I have, probably to extend this discussion and get the right kind of a revelation here. See, you have this Brahman realization, you have the Paramatma realization, the ultimate is Bhagavan realization. So is all 3 the same? You might have come across these, and especially the Mayavadis, they, Shankaracharya followers, most of the people, they say that this was very famous verse that says, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So what does that mean, and how is it related? And can somebody, I know it's not directly related, but they have this notion that Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. That means the ultimate absolute is Brahman. And if you can get that realization, you are good. And there's nothing beyond which you need to go. How is that related to Sankirtan movement? And what is their realization? Is it correct or not? Because they say that that's ultimate. Makes sense, Prabhuji? Seturam Prabhu, can you lead this discussion? And anybody can join to add your inputs, your observations, your understanding. Is the question clear?
Prabhu, can I try, Prabhu?
Is the question clear,
Yeah,
Prabhu?
Yes, very clear, Prabhu.
Yes.
Please go on, Prabhuji. Please go.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Actually, coming to this question, mentioned the different process recommended in this yoga. As Bera Prabhu rightly said, different yogas have different followings. I'll give an example. I did from senior Vaishnavas. Like if you stand in a railway counter for booking your tickets, some counters will be mentioned it as closed window. Whatever time you stand it there is no use of it. In the similar way, in this yoga, it is mentioned that Harinam Sankirtana is easiest, and in this yoga, you have to follow this. how much time you give your time in other processes, there is no use. You may go little advanced, but there is no use of it. And I'll give you one more example. For example, if you have a currency of Indian rupee, you can use it only in India. If you go to foreign countries like America, and if you want to use it the same currency, it may not be useful. For example, this Kali Yuga, like for example, you are living in India, you have to use the currency as Indian currency, so that you can live happily, and you can use that money also. For example, if you bring dollars or some other currency to India to use it, and you want to become happy, no one will care about it until you do the conversion. And this conversion is like, in this yuga, you have to follow this Harinam Sankirtana, then it will be easy and you can lead your path. And coming to Prabhu question, Krishna Swami Prabhu question, Brahman realization and Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization. Brahman realization, I'll give you an example with Baudhita Sloka. Abrahma Borloka Punarjanmana Arjuna Mamupetyetu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Chati. In this sloka, Krishna clearly says that if you are in Brahmaloka or Borloka, sorry, at every loka you have to take this birth and death again and again, unless you reach to the highest loka, that is Goloka Vrindavan. I'll take you this an example. For example, the person who says that Brahman realization is topmost. If you have floors of 100 floors, if a person reached to 30th floor, and he cannot say that I have reached to the top end of the building, because he has reached only 30th floor. In Srimad Bhagavatam and in all the references, it clearly says that highest loka is spiritual world, that is Goloka Vrindavan. And in spiritual world also, there are so many lokas. I did it from Senior Vaishnava again. Like for example, if you take an Indian country is like, for example, a spiritual world. In spiritual world, there are so many worlds. Like in India, so many states are there. And capital state is Delhi.
Sorry,
Similar way in spiritual world.
Prabhu. So we are getting a little digressed. So be specific to the point. So what was the question?
Yes, Prabhu.
I am confused with my question.
Yes, Prabhu. Brahman.
So please
Sorry,
tell me the
Prabhu.
question.
Actually, Brahman realization is not the top, Prabhu, and Paramatma realization is like next to it, and Bhagavan realization is top, Prabhu.
Fantastic, Prabhu. Thank you. So,
Yep.
Raghunath Puri Prabhu, we wanted to add something.
Yeah, Prabhu. Very nicely explained by so many examples. And really, to speak as Prabhu, your question was very clear into sense that what you said is the 3 levels of realization. So whatever realization these people, Mayavadis, or we talk about Gyanis and all this, or yogis, they will be reaching at Brahman level only. And further, they cannot, reach. Only devotees who have surrendered to Krishna or who have gone the Sarnagati, they will follow and they will ultimately reach to the God. So they will directly establish that, that's called connection, or you can say samparka with the Lord, and Lord reveals them. In fact, Lord only reveals to the devotees, not to anybody else, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Very nicely, you have summarized it very nicely. Govardhan Prabhu, thank you for the examples once again. Just wanted to clarify and put my perspective, though for my own purification also. See, the Brahman realization, I would like to take it to a little different level of understanding. Please correct me if that's not what your expectations are. Brahman realization, you know that Satchidananda, this is the realization that one should get to get this complete self-realization. But when it comes to the Brahman realization, they are realizing the absolute truth, and their realization is limited to the Sat realization only. So the eternal realization, eternality realization, that means, let me put it this way. See, they can see that the Supreme Lord, the absolute truth, that is pervading everywhere. You see that in our Bhagavad Gita also, there is one diagram or a photograph which shows that every living entity has a spark in it. So That is Brahman realization. And they can see that everybody is a living entity, and they have that spiritual spark that is called Brahman, and it is pervading everywhere. So that is the realization, that is the first level of realization, that is called Sat realization. Satchidananda, if you see, the first level is what the Brahman realization people will get. And more or less, this is the, they get the understanding, but they do not understand the potencies of the Supreme Lord. So they just know only this, that this spiritual spark is there in each and every entity. That is what they know. They don't know beyond that what are the potencies of the Supreme Lord. When it comes to the Paramatma realization, these people realize the Sat and Chit part also. The Chit part is the inner facility of the knowledge and vision. So that means the realization of the absolute truth having some material potencies. That means the Supreme Lord he is the controller, he is the creator, and he is also the maintainer and destroyer. So this part of the understanding, they get to know about the absolute truth, and they are more or less only restricted to these material potencies. That means Supreme Lord is controlling all this external material world. That is what they can realize. And at a Paramatma realization level, they are able to realize the Sat and Chit part of it. When it comes to the last part of the Bhagwan realization, very importantly, as Raghunath Puri Prabhu rightly mentioned, they understand the Sat, Chit and Ananda part, the supreme bliss. See, that's their ultimate goal also, that we wanted to self-realize means you need to get the characteristics, or you need to be experiencing the Sat, Chit and Ananda. I don't know, my video is stopped or what?
No, Prabhu.
No,
Excellent,
Prabhuji.
excellent, Prabhu.
Excellent.
Excellent explanation.
We are
Splendid.
able to see, Prabhu.
Now you got paused, Prabhuji.
Your
Now
video is
we
paused.
can't see.
Sorry, Prabhu, there's some technical difficulty, technical issue. I got kicked out. Am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes,
Prabhu.
you are.
Please.
In fact,
And it was-
you are
it was a
audible.
splendid, Prabhu, it was excellent way of making us understand this Sat Chit Anand Roop. So that was wonderful, Prabhu.
Yeah, so one last thing to add there, and it's basically inspiration from Raghunath Puri Prabhu and other devotees, Gordhan Prabhu, that prompted me this. And one last thing, when you are realizing at the Paramatma level, sorry, at the Bhagwan level, your realization of the Supreme Lord is not restricted to the material potencies. You are also realizing the spiritual potencies of the Supreme Lord. That means to say that the Supreme Lord has got a personal form and he stays in Goloka, and all that loving exchange also you can do with the Supreme Lord. I'll give you an example, getting inspiration from Gordhan Prabhu, and Srila Prabhupada gives an example about in a village, that first time the train is coming to that village, first time, and all are excited, especially the children. They stand in the railway station, and it is almost evening now, and and they see they are still waiting, and it is coming out little dark again, and the train starts coming, and they see the smoke and the light, and some of the children run to the village and says that the train has come, the train has come. And when somebody asks, well, how does this train look like? So it says the train means it has smoke and it has got sound. So that is what they say. And light also. So that's what they say. The sound is coming and the light is there, and the smoke is also there. That is what train is. And there are few other children who are staying there, and when the train is coming near to the platform, they see that there is the train has got some bogies and there are different compartments. So that is what they realize. And some of the next batch of children go to the village and shout and say that the train has come and this is what the train is like. It has got bogies and there is one engine in the front. That's what they say. And the last set of children, they stay back there patiently and the train stops there. And when they see that from the engine, the driver comes out and shakes hand with the boys and explains that this is the train and this is the engine which will be taking all the bogies, and there are passengers who are sitting in the train, and these are the people who are there, and they also see the people coming down. So all the three states of information that the children have presented are all correct only, but their level of understanding is differing. So the complete understanding is the last set of children who have got the understanding, where they could personally realize and they could personally interact with the people in the train. So with the person, the engine driver also. So that is the last part, is the Paramatma realization. The Bhagavan realization. The middle part is the Paramatma realization, and the first part is the Brahman realization. All three are realizations only, which are correct only, but only thing is that their level of understanding is different. So when some Mayavadi talks about Brahman realization, we do not say that they are wrong. What we say when they say that what is that famous sloka that they say, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So is this comment correct? Can somebody tell? Is this comment or this whatever they say is accurate? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. So Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. How far is this accurate? Is this accurate? Is that correct interpretation? Anybody? You can comment because this is very famous.
I have a question. How Jagat would be Mithya for them?
No, you are asking a question or you are telling?
Question.
Okay, what
Jagat
is the question,
Mithya.
Prabhu?
What is Jagat Mithya, Prabhuji, for them?
What is Jagat?
Mithya means
Okay.
Jagat is wrong for them, right?
Mithya. Mithya means it is illusion. Mithya means illusion. Is that correct, Raghunath Puri Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu, imaginary or illusion is correct.
Yes. So, yeah, Bapi Prabhu, is that okay with you?
I am not sure about this one.
Yeah, Govardhan Prabhu is mentioning that is 8:20 now. So we need to wind up. Okay, so we'll conclude in next 5 to 10 minutes, Sethuram Prabhu. So just to conclude, see, anybody wanted to comment on this? Anybody? Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So basically, their first part is correct. Brahma Satyam. Satyam means it is truth. And they think that is the only truth and there is nothing beyond. That is wrong. So their realization is Brahman realization. After that, there is Paramatma realization. After that, there is Bhagavan realization. That they don't accept it. That is where they are doing the blunder. So that's where they are stopping, and that's what they are thinking, that that's the absolute and there is nothing beyond. That's where they are wrong. The second part of the where they are wrong is the what is that Jagat Mithya. See, we say that, and Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that this particular material world is temporary. It is ashashvatam, but it is not mithya. It is not illusion. If that is the illusion, then you are also illusion. You are made up of these panchendriyas only and panchabhutas only. So you are also mithya. So that information is wrong. Okay, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or any doubts before we close?
Yeah, Prabhu, just as you said, I'm also getting a little, feeling of exchanging one small story. Maybe it will take just a couple of minutes. I won't try to extend it. It's basically on Ananda part, which you said, the exchange of love with the God.
Yes, yes.
So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day was there. In those days, he was in Navdeep.
Ah.
So, I mean, Navdeep people, you can understand when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, everyone was in place. So it was appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and probably everyone was bringing prasadam. So and with everyone in their heart wanted that their prasadam should be tasted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mean, that desire was with everyone. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is basically sitting and he's smiling because he's understanding the, I mean, this thought process of each and every devotee who was coming and, presenting the best of the prasadam which they could have afforded and they could have made it. And okay, after the process, so this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to his close associates, you please close the, the prasadam hall. And he went inside and he consumed everything. So just imagine, I mean, a big hall, every prasadam, I mean, like maybe some thousands of people must have come over there. And when devotees came inside, they were just, bewildered, and they're thinking that God has not left even a small bit of prasadam for me. So this thought also he understood. Then he was smiling, and then finally he said, go to another room. There is a prasadam is kept. You can, I mean, take prasadam from there. So this is the best way how, Lord, I mean, exchanges his love.
Yeah,
Thank you,
he
Prabhu.
reciprocates. Yes, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhujis and Matajis. Seturam Prabhu, you take over. And if you wanted to conclude by anything unfinished, you can take.
Thank you very much, Matajis and Prabhujis, for contribution in this chapter. And there is nothing much from my side to add. So I don't know. Please excuse me if I was not able to conduct this session properly. Please excuse me for that. And I should thank Krishna Swami Prabhuji for actually encouraging me to come up with this session. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
You did a great job, and Bandita Mataji also did a great job. Though Bandita Mataji has joined recently, but the way she read the slokas and the way she is interacted, it was beyond compare. Thank you, Seturam Prabhu, for leading today's session.
Thank you very much.
And I request you to take up more lead services, and Bandita Mataji also. Thank you very much.
Sure.
So we'll do short kirtan and then we'll close.
Sure,
You
Prabhu.
wanted to do kirtan, Prabhu? Seturam Prabhu?
Prabhuji, you do the kirtan, I'll follow.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Okay,
Thank you,
that's
Prabhu.
fine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय।
Jai.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Thank you once again, all of you, and Seturam Prabhu and Bandita Mataji and all the devotees. See you tomorrow in the morning japa session, and also in the evening we'll continue our food for soul session. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. Dandavad.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat
Dandavad.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Prabhu.
Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Prabhu.